Welcome back to Gut Feelings Life Unfiltered. So, today is a really special episode, guys, because we are celebrating 1 full year of podcasting. Like, how the heck?
It's so weird and wild to even say it out loud. I'm just so proud of us.
I know. Me
Yeah.
too. I mean, part of me feels like we honestly just started like
Yeah.
yesterday,
Mhm.
but the other part of me feels like we've been talking about this for so long. Like you and I on the phone would just be talking about this stuff for years and years. And
Yeah.
we finally decided to start a podcast about it. And it's been so fun.
I know. I'm just so because it was like your idea. It's like, why don't we record these conversations? Like why don't
Yes.
we just and that's why I love, and that's like the beauty of this podcast. It's never ever felt like overly polished or totally forced. It feels like real conversations that we would like honestly, genuinely have, and that we know women need to hear, and also might even be having about their own symptoms or their own stuff, too. So it's like, let's just share our conversations. And some may say like it's not super doctorly, like, it's not very medical. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, but we're just being authentically ourselves, which I feel like authentic is such a beautiful word. I know you love that word too, and
I do.
that's all we can be is ourselves, and that's what feels good in this season of our life because we
Yeah.
masked for so long.
Oh my God, I know.
So,
And we're like today, like for the podcast, I was like, I want to wear something like glittery, like sparkly, celebrating our 1 year.
mhm.
But I also have my in-laws in town, and I was like, I don't want to walk out the door looking like I'm going to a club this morning. So I just am wearing normal clothes.
I'm wearing normal clothes too. I did my hair, so there's that, and I have
Oh,
lipstick on. So,
hey,
hey,
we're ready.
that's just me celebrating.
My God. Well, so for this episode, we're going to do something a little different. We wanted to kind of reflect on this past year, like what we've learned and what we've loved and what surprised us, the topics we clearly can't stop talking about. I'm
Can't
pretty
stop. We
pretty
won't
sure you
shut up.
guys can like be like, I know what you're going to say. And the message is like that we keep coming back to because we are living it with you guys. And like Melissa said, like when we started this podcast, we wanted to be real. We wanted to show like our authentic selves. And I think this podcast has helped me to honestly be able to do that. Like I have learned so much into how to like feel comfortable in my own skin and saying what I want to say. Like I used to be so quiet about what I wanted to say, honestly. And even when we initially got feedback on the podcast, and we had some feedback that was like, well, you guys are very like relaxed and chill and not very like authoritative as doctors. And, at first I was like, okay, but, like, then we were like, "That's not what we're going for." Like, we are going for being in it with you, like, we want to ride this wave with you guys because we don't know all the answers, and I think that's what makes us such good doctors is because we're willing to say we don't know, but
Yeah,
we are so passionate about what we do that we're gonna find the answer because we
yeah,
are resourceful women, and so are you guys, so that's the thing. It's like all of these pieces that have led us to where we are today. Cause honestly, like I almost cried this morning thinking about this episode because it has been a rough year. I mean, for me personally, and Melissa's had massive changes. And like we have been in the pits of the pits, like drowning in holes. And where I am today is like a massive change. And I just felt like crying with how much things have changed, and that's why we're so excited to even, like, tell you guys about this future year, what's coming up for us, because we're taking you guys on the ride with us and teaching you everything, all the pieces that have led us to where we are right now.
yeah, and I love what you said and, earlier was, like, that we are riding this ride with you, but we're curious. We have curiosity in you as a patient, our demographic, our people, we're curious, and staying curious makes us better practitioners. Nothing is more annoying than a doctor that acts like they know everything.
Oh my
It's
god, yeah.
so irritating, and we also what like, there's different things that I've had in my life, like a grief group, specifically, and where, like, the grief facilitators made sure that they talked about their own grief, and it just bridges the gap. It makes you
Yeah.
feel like, "Oh, you get me,"
Yeah.
because we are also human having this human experience, and we don't have it all figured out, and we're
Mhm.
healing from a lot of different traumas and different things that have happened in our life. So, like, the other day, my therapist, like, talked about something that happened to her personally, and I was like, "Thank you, like, you're a real
Yeah.
human, and I appreciate it," and we don't talk about it necessarily to make it about us, we're talking about it to share with you, to help you understand that, like, we're in this with you. We're
Yes.
and we do have answers, but some of the questions that you may have, we don't have answers to, and we're gonna keep on looking for them and keep on understanding. We're not gonna keep our world small. We're gonna keep on growing and building and understanding the health field and our practice and what our patients need.
And
So,
there's so much to know. And
yes.
like, I agree with you too. Like you were saying, Melissa, I had a patient come to me just this week that said, because her husband has Parkinson's, and I have personally been doing a lot of research in the red light field for MS, and Parkinson's kind of goes hand in hand with
Mhm.
MS. And I told her about how helpful the red light could be, and she brought it up to her neurologist, or her husband's neurologist, and he was so dismissive, rolled his eyes, was
Mm.
so rude. And I feel the codependency coming in where I want to go in and like punch this doctor because it's like, that is not okay. But I realize I'm like codependent with all my patients. We're like, yeah, like I want to
Yeah.
just, but again, we're all learning these lessons together. And she fired him. And I'm so excited for her because, yeah,
Wow.
that's not okay to be treating your patients like that.
I
So,
know, and I wonder if he will learn, like, I hope that's a lesson that he can learn, that act acting like, godlike
mhm,
is what, some it's not even just MDs, it's other functional medicine practitioners, influencers on the internet, like, it's all
yeah,
there's this godlike complex that if you don't do what I say, then you will fail, and that mentality is so
yeah,
harming and not healing and just creates more fear because you'll never
so
ever
toxic.
do all the things all these people say because it's impossible.
Yeah.
Um, I've had a couple incidences just in my life of doctors doing that, and it's like it's so damaging, and especially when you're, like, in the thick of a healing moment, like, it
Mm,
happened around when my husband died, and I was so vulnerable and
yeah.
I felt so beaten down, and, like, this person did that to me, this doctor, it was a pediatrician, and I'm like, "This is not what I need right now." Like, I just need
No.
somebody to look me in the eyes, he wouldn't, and, like, support me and support my decisions or ask questions and get curious and listen
Yeah.
to my concerns. So, we're
Even that would have been so healing in the
Oh,
moment. Like,
it's so
that's what you
healing.
needed.
I know. And so, I don't know, I guess that was, like
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been with us from the beginning or whether you're just recently joining us.
Yeah,
But we do want to thank you guys for being here. Like, this podcast would not be what it is without you guys and without you listening and sharing with your friends. Like, hey, did you hear this episode? They're talking about codependency or um
perfectionism.
all these things that like you wouldn't think have to do with your health, but this is what we have found massively impacts your health.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, you guys have had the courage to be with us this whole
I
way,
know.
and we love you guys.
And if nobody's told you lately, you're doing way better than you think. I
Yes.
think it's so easy to be hard on ourselves, and I even have, like, family members that'll be like, "Oh, I know I should just do that." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you are doing the best you can with what you have right now, where you're at in your life." Like, looking at all these things that you're not doing, again, creates so much fear, and
Yeah.
just looking at what you are doing, and you're so much better than you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So I thought we could start this episode with why we even started this podcast. I know we like mentioned a little bit. We were already talking about all this stuff, but like, Why did we start this podcast?
Why?
Yeah. I know.
Um,
So,
yeah.
yeah. I
Uh,
mean, for me, a huge reason was that I felt there was so many conversations women needed to hear that weren't being talked about in like a real, honest, relatable way. And
mhm.
there's so much health information out there. It can be so overwhelming, especially like, I mean, it's frustrating when you're getting health information from non health experts, but either way, like either the information is like too clinical where you don't understand it and or it's like too filtered or too surface level where you're like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
But we wanted to like honestly connect all of the dots. And again, like we said, like we're walking this walk with you and we have found some massive things that have impacted our health and we are going to make it easy and relatable so you can add it into your life.
Yeah, and I think both of us wanted a space where we could talk about health, hormones, like all of the stresses of life and how we are healing and our relationships and burnout, which we all both have experienced, and just the
Yeah.
emotional roller coaster of being in perimenopause, and then my like both of our grief and our how we're struggling to set boundaries, and all of it is like the way that we actually felt human. And so we wanted that space to be able to like say all these things, express ourselves. Like, I mean, it's no joke that I get my HRV like skyrockets every time we do our episode because I get to spend time with Jen and then we get to talk about the things we're super passionate about.
Yeah.
And so this is everything.
Yeah. And like for this podcast too, it's not just about taking supplements or just about that lab or just about fixing symptoms. Like we love to talk about that stuff too, but it's more about like the real life stuff, like your stress and how that matters and like your relationships and the pressure that we put on ourselves, guys.
Mhm.
Like all of these pieces, like every episode if you go back and like listen to them, you can kind of see how there is like so much to health and healing and so much of this that's not talked about. And that's why we want to talk about it because it can be overwhelming, but like these are the things that really move the needle. And that's why we're talking about them.
Yeah, and we both know that women are carrying so much, too much. Like we're like we carry the silent burden of our family life that I don't think. I mean, they're talking about it more. I always think of the funny, just comparison of like, children and like men. I'm sorry, men, but they just show up to parties. Most of them, not all of them. They just show up to parties and they think they just like happened. Like no, who scheduled it, who planned the meal, who did the prep, who did all like, there's a lot. Like I just think of that, and then there's just a lot that we do that we don't talk about enough. And now that we are somewhat talking about it, it feels like, oh my God, you're right. Like my brain is always going. So we're functioning at this high level on the outside, but underneath we're just totally exhausted. We feel so disconnected. We're just overwhelmed, inflamed. We have pain. We're
Yeah.
anxious. We're burnt out. And we're wondering why they're like where our bodies aren't responding the way they used to.
Yeah.
And it's just a load on just an overload of our system, essentially.
Yeah, and a lot of us are honestly doing everything right. Like
Yeah,
Melissa and I were doing everything right. Like all of the clean eating, like we tried every single diet in the world, guys. Like
every
we
diet.
all the supplements, taking all the stuff, working out, prioritizing sleep, like staying positive, trying to think positive thoughts, holding the family together, showing up for work. Just we were doing all of those things and still knowing that we did not feel right. And I think that's why it was like, even with my MS diagnosis, like I was doing all of those things. So when I got this diagnosis, I knew that what caused it was a lot of this emotional stuff that we talk about.
Yeah,
And that was a piece I was not addressing because we don't really put two and two together. Like, hey, your emotional health and your physical health, and how, like, I'm like a functional medicine doctor, and I'm so into like the diets and the supplements and all the fancy things, the peptides, whatever it might be. But it's like, what's the foundation? And I think that is a piece that's missing for, my God, like most of the world, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
And it needs to be what we start with. And I think that's why I'm so excited for this year and what we're creating and this group membership, because that's what we're going to be talking about and teaching you guys is the foundation of healing.
Yeah, it's so, it once I had the realization of what exactly you're saying, I thought to myself, this is like the missing link. And I've been digging and digging into all of these other things and wasting a lot, not wasting energy because I learned so much and it actually got me into functional medicine. But once I realized how much my system was overloaded and how much I was in fight or flight, I just give myself so much more grace.
Yeah.
I think that there's all of these rigorous protocols and supplements and all the things that we have to follow, all these boxes we check. It's just it can be so overwhelming to our system. It can be so much that and we're all like we're trying to be perfectionists too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then once you realize that that is almost fueling some of that fear,
It
like,
is.
I think there can be a healthy balance, like, we are still humans, we still can have things that happen to us that we can use the supplements for, we can lift weights for, we can, eat a certain way, try to eat clean, but I think that, if we have to do it in the mentality and you've said this before beautifully, of just supporting ourselves
Yeah.
instead of making it such a punishment, like we're doing so much wrong, um So this is why we're here.
I know. And I think for me this year, what
Mhm,
has shifted so much of my health is when I was listening to my music this morning and working out, like so much love and gratitude for myself. And I think that's why when we talk about self-compassion being a big piece, like it is so transformative. And like 4 years, knew self-compassion was important, but like I didn't feel it. I was still like mean to myself
mhm.
and very judgmental of myself. And I think what really started to transform things was we've had her on the podcast before, Sari Cowsert. She is my hypnotherapist. She took me through a hypnotherapy session where I connected to my 7-year-old self, and I connected so deep to her, and it was like I wanted like what I want for every like you guys, so I want to go punch that doctor in the face because they're not treating you right. I was abandoning myself. Like, I think I knew she'll be fine. She's gonna be there, but I kept self-abandoning, kept ignoring her because I just was like, she's not going anywhere. Like, she'll still be here. But I think it got to the point where I ignored her so much that that's when the symptoms started coming. And when I connected to her in this hypnotherapy session, it was like, I need to be her ride or die. Like, I need to protect her at all costs above anyone and everyone because she's the most important thing. And like,
Mm.
I felt that so deep in my soul in this hypnotherapy session where that's kind of what the self compassion piece goes into, because I really was able to see this innocent, sweet, loving girl, like so much love and light in her heart. And I was over here with so much heaviness and responsibility of everybody else that it weighed me down. And it was like, I want to be more like her. It was such an interesting experience. So if you guys are interested in hypnotherapy, Sari is amazing. But go back to one of the podcasts that we've had with her and reach out to her for sure.
Oh, yeah. And or like for me, what I've figured out is that I have to have processes when I start to spiral or when I start to do the shame game or the self-talk. Like I have to have systems in place in my brain and in my everyday life to stop me and slow me down and have me observe. And I think that that's important for people like us to because we love steps and processes.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like when you start to feel your cues, you have a system in place to protect yourself to get you back to a safe place. And I'm discovering that that's like really pivotal for me. So not only seeing the little girl that like needed more love and that needs love now, and that might be your process too,
Yeah.
like visualizing um or affirmations or slowing things down. Like I just try to really slow it down. So there's so many things that we learn. But like what tell me, Jen, what surprised you the most about this year? Like what do you think?
Oh. Um, I think how much these conversations like resonated with the people when we
Mhm.
talked about like the deeper stuff. Like, I think it's
Yeah.
interesting because we're all so similar. Like, so it resonated with so many people because you're also going through it and you also are a perfectionist, a people pleaser, like codependent. Like, I knew like women cared about like hormones and gut health and fatigue and all of that stuff, but I think what really stood out to me was how deeply people resonated when we talked about like these things like perfectionism, people pleasing, emotional suppression, the hypervigilance, like that one. So many people have talked to me like, oh my God, like I'm hypervigilant too,
Yeah.
because it all is part of the nervous system and connected to our health. And it's really interesting when I felt like when we broke it down in a way where you guys could understand that.
I know. And I think some of these concepts, because we're so unfiltered and we're so candid with like these concepts, I think that it makes it more relatable and understandable. Um, but I think the thing that what stood out to me is it's one thing to talk about health symptoms. It's another thing to connect those symptoms to the way someone has been living.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and like the way they've been coping and surviving and pushing through for years. So it's a new concept, obviously, in the last year for us. I mean, we've like delved into it, but connecting the symptoms to these traits is so fascinating to me. Like
Yeah.
that on the body says yes, the body says no. Oh my god,
No. The body
the
says
body
no.
says no, the body does not say yes. The body says no by Gabor Mate like changed my life of
Yes.
just seeing, and then Dr. Sarno, the what is his book? The Mind Body Prescription.
Yeah.
That changed my life. Like these are books that I will reread and never ever forget because of relating these symptoms back to how we are operating.
Yeah, and it's like once we realize that like wait, maybe like the reason I'm exhausted isn't because I'm like so busy or I'm doing too much or like I'm not getting enough sleep. Like we're always looking for some other like reason that just like
External, right?
yeah, and
Mhm.
it could be one of these internal reasons why we're so exhausted and it's I now like symptoms are messengers and for me I had ignored them for so long. Like I was having messages for a long time but I felt like I was too busy
Mm.
to slow down to listen to what my body was trying to tell me. And those messages like we've talked about before get louder and louder until you are forced to stop and listen. And it's like I mean, I still don't think I would have listened if someone had told me this before. Like, those are messengers, like, slow down and listen to it. I probably still would not have listened because I had so much fear in slowing down where my system did not feel safe to slow down. I felt like I would fall behind or wouldn't be successful or as high achieving if I slowed down. So, I think honestly I had to go through what I went through
Yeah.
to really listen.
I know, and what I hear and what you're saying and what I actually thought about while you're saying it for me was the fact that like love has conditions and that like you have to perform in order to receive some sort of relief in the end. Like I remember powering through and thinking I will deserve a break after,
Yeah.
which is I mean,
So heavy.
like yeah, and like that okay, so maybe on the surface that sounds like, yeah, okay. But if you're operating like that every day and you're only giving yourself breaks because you feel like you earned it,
Yeah. Ugh.
what else does that bleed into other aspects of your life? How are you raising your children? Are you raising them to believe that they have to perform to receive love?
Yeah.
And I don't know when this starts or who it starts with, if it's at childhood or if it's just like a learned process as we age. But I I can't operate. I learned with grief that I can't operate, and that awareness can be so emotional. Um
Yeah.
because
It
it's not just about fixing the body, it's about looking at all of these patterns in your relationships, like
Mhm.
if it's not working or if you're trying to communicate or you are struggling with communication, your boundaries around these relationships, your belief systems, the belief system of like, I have to perform in order to get love or get rest. And then like the roles that we've been playing within these patterns, you
Yeah.
know? Um,
And I
so
think though when we realize this, like this is where so much of our healing begins.
yeah, it it is a true there's a before and after when you discover what these patterns look like. Like, I really definitively know that when I started to dive deep, everything changed for me.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's also surprising how hungry people are for conversations that are kind of both science-based and very honest, which is really cool. Women don't just want this, like, fluffy inspiration anymore, like, the positive vibes only kind of thing. They also don't want cold and detached information. They want they want I don't necessarily think both because cold and detached sounds awful. But I think that, they want the information, but they wanna understand all of it,
Yeah.
They wanna understand, like, the ugly parts, the good parts, the parts that they see in themselves, and I know that there's a lot of doctors that are doing that out there. Like, I think of, like, Marie Claire, I think
Yeah.
about, like, her platform, how beautiful it is, and I don't even necessarily think I agree with everything that she says, but I feel like I am being hugged by her when she
Yeah.
speaks, but she truly, truly cares, and that's the thing, like, you don't have to agree with everybody, you don't even have to agree with us,
No,
like
and I think even with Marie Claire or like some of these practitioners that we resonate with, it's like it's because we feel so seen. And
Yeah,
I think that's part of healing too, where even learning about these like survival traits, it's like, oh my God, like just honestly putting like a name or a description to
mhm,
all those feelings that you have. Like how I survived like this the codependency, like, I didn't even know that was a thing, and then I was like, "Oh my god, like, this is
yeah,
describing exactly me," and then you add in and then I was like, "Oh, perfectionism, people pleasing? Oh, that's, like, actually a thing?" Like and then you start to, like, understand what it is, what it's doing to your body, like, why you're feeling the way you're feeling.
or, like, that you don't have to accept bad behavior for people. Like,
Yes.
and then when you start to change, it's gonna piss people off, but
Oh,
you
the
al
boundaries?
oh,
Yeah.
but you just like, it's if somebody can't get on board with not verbally abusing you or which I think that the thing is that, like, I don't know, maybe we were raised to think that, like, we just are loyal to people, but we these things, like, once you shift into this mindset of, like, "Okay, I'm noticing my patterns, I'm noticing I have no boundaries, I'm noticing I'm a perfectionist, like, I'm noticing all these traits," and then when you shift and people aren't on board, fuck them. I
But
don't
I
know, like
think you will go through a lot of uncomfortableness. It's like a
sure.
roller coaster, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
will cry, and you will and even you, Melissa, helped me through, like, for me setting boundaries, like, I would call her crying because of, uh, the recipient on the other side, how they
Yeah.
received the boundaries, and I felt like my world was ending, but Melissa, you were so right because things get better and the
Oh my
relationship
god.
improves because of the boundaries. And then
Yes.
what you once desired, like what type of relationship you wanted to have with that person, will happen. But you're going to go through a bunch of shit first. It's going to be uncomfortable on both ends, but
Mhm.
it's so worth it. It's amazing.
Yeah, and if they can't get on board, then unfortunately, this is the consequence of when 2 people can't all be aligned, but I am finding when I have made boundaries, I my real because you're teaching people how to treat you.
Yeah.
And then if they respect you, they will do that, and it feels so much cozier to be in that relationship with people that
Yes.
are listening, and at the beginning, they might feel like, "Oh, I'm walking on eggshells around her," or, "Oh, like, I feel like I can't say anything right," or,
Right? Yeah.
I'm always watching what I'm saying." It's like, "No, you're just not gonna verbally abuse me anymore. You're just
Yeah.
not gonna treat me like shit. I have boundaries and I love myself."
Yeah.
So, it's interesting when you'll hear the people that struggle with this, they'll say common phrases, not probably to you. They'll triangulate and tell other people that, like, she's different or she's
Mhm.
not her normal self and she doesn't, oh, like I said, I'm walking on eggshells. Okay, well, n like, why are you walking on maybe, like, self-reflect.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think for
Yeah.
me too, like, I knew about the boundaries thing, but I couldn't set them until, again, like I said, with this hypnotherapy session where, like, it was my job. Like, I had control and I had to stand up for my 7-year-old self. Like, I had to set these boundaries for her. So that's where it was like, you're the one. Nobody's gonna do it for you. You
No.
wanna change, you have to do this for yourself.
Right, and it's like you just don't the cycle is exhausting.
Yeah.
Like, I found, like, I'm exhausted by myself when I can't because I spin my wheels on certain people that, like on the people that don't respect me.
Yeah.
I put a lot of energy into people that don't put energy into me. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess this would be count as like the biggest lesson of
Yeah.
of for us, but
I think it is. It's huge.
I know. I
And
mean, it just shows that healing is just not a physical, not just physical.
no, it's not. Yeah, and if I had to name another one of the biggest lessons, it's that, yeah, that one. Healing is not just physical.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And it we because I think we came from such a physical profession, like chiropractic is so physical and it's like
Yes,
this, like we learned about this innate intelligence in some of the woo-woo parts of chiropractic, but I would say that we followed more of like like
we
the
did.
I don't know, what do you
We're gapping the joint and improving
Yeah,
motion. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
So now for us to be like, okay, well, there's more to it than just physical. It is interesting that we're here.
Yeah, the body matters. I mean, like, labs matter,
Yeah,
nutrition matters, like
sure.
sleep,
We're
blood
human.
sugar,
Yeah.
hormones, like all of that. But if you're constantly in that state of internal pressure that we talked about, that fear, that self abandonment, like we say, the over functioning, the emotional suppression, that is massive. Like, your body is going to reflect that.
Yeah, and I think that's a part so many women miss is
Yeah.
not because they're doing anything wrong, it's because no one ever taught them to look at these ideas. I mean, I
Yeah.
wasn't raised to look at this stuff.
No.
I was raised as a codependent person that I was responsible for the room, that I needed to be 5 steps ahead of everybody. I needed
Yeah.
to make sure that everybody was healthy and I didn't need to think about myself, like and so I think it's a piece that we are missing, obviously.
Yeah. One of the other biggest lessons was the nervous
I
system
mean, we can't shut
changes
up about it.
everything.
Yeah,
Like,
our listeners
I
are probably like, get a
well,
new
I
topic."
think we can't stop talking about the nervous system because it was a piece that I had missed for so long, and
Yeah.
honestly, like, I felt like I was pushing a boulder up a mountain by myself for so long, and I wasn't getting anywhere because the nervous system is tied to everything, and I was missing it. I was missing it time and time again, and when I started digging into that, I was like, "Oh my god." Like, I I won't shut up about it because it's the most important thing in the world. Like,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, and safe doesn't mean your life is perfect. It means your body is not constantly interpreting life as a threat.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we're the same, like very similar things over and over again with different angles at it. But if you always are in fight or flight, if like for when I was in the heart of my grief, I was totally fight or flight for years. So,
You
like
were freeze.
oh, yeah. Well, yeah, let me think. There was some fawning. There was
Oh,
some fawning.
you went through all the nervous system states.
Oh, the nerve. Yeah, so, like, when I look back like, I give myself so much grace because, of course, I had fight or flight. My husband died, I gave birth.
Yeah.
My life was turned upside down. Why
Yeah.
not? Why can't
Yeah.
I that's my body. I was doing what exactly I needed to
Yeah.
do, which was to make sure everybody was safe, making sure my son was safe, make whatever. These are the things
Survival.
it
Yeah.
sucked, and it took a toll on my body. But now then I'm, like, out of I'm will always grieve, but the fight or flight for them, I'm still in. I mean, I feel like that system when it's activated so often and so heavily, it doesn't take much, like, it's like this hot wire, you're just like,
Yeah.
"Zip," like, it doesn't you gotta be really cautious, and this is where when you have a big trauma or, like, a big loss, like, you don't have time for this bullshit anymore and you need to understand your patterns because it doesn't take much to set them off, and I'm sure all the people around me understand that because, like, I would get triggered by the craziest stuff, like crazy stuff that we're like, "Well, why are I don't see why you're this is such a big deal," but my body was like, "Everything's a big deal."
Yeah.
So now, like, when you're out of it, you're like, "Oh, yeah, okay." Like, I you can give yourself some grace, um yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's such an important distinction, like,
Mhm.
because a lot of women, they think, "Well, nothing bad is happening right now, like, I'm
Yeah.
not going through what Melissa went through, so why do I still feel, like, on edge or, like, quick to react?"
Mhm.
And it's because the nervous system learns patterns over time.
This is so true.
So if your body has gotten used to overworking, like a lot of us, overgiving, like probably all of us, and scanning, that's that hypervigilance, bracing, or even suppressing your emotions. I mean, that becomes your baseline. So your bucket is already full. And then if you add anything more to that bucket,
Yeah,
it overflows. Like,
totally. And, like, when calm happens, it feels so unfamiliar. It's almost like when you start to feel safe, your body's like, I don't trust it."
yeah, which
Well,
is like, what the heck, nervous system? Like, I'm
yeah,
trying to chill out here. Like,
yeah,
God.
it's just rude.
So rude. What the
Yeah.
heck? But
Um, yeah.
yeah, so another one of our lessons here that we've learned is symptoms are often, like we also talked about already, communications. They're not our body fighting against us. I can't tell you how many women, like, they're very distraught and upset with all the symptoms they have, and
Yeah.
especially in perimenopause. I feel like
Ugh,
because our nervous system has been dysregulated for so long, we have all the symptoms in perimenopause. So then we start to feel defeated, like our body is like attacking us or working against us. And it can be draining and upsetting, but when we look at it where what what is my body trying to tell me as opposed to why is my body failing me, it can kind of change, like, the thoughts in your mind about it.
God, those symptoms, like, it's so hard, especially when you're in fight or flight and you feel a symptom coming, you're like, "Oh, no, no, why?" And, like, yeah, with perimenopause, it's like you get, like, 2 good days a month, sometimes. You're like, "Well," um, but they're not like, these symptoms are not the enemy, like you said, they're just, like, messengers to, like, say, "Hey, pay attention. What are we doing right now? What are our thoughts are? What are our actions? What are behaviors? What are blah, 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 blah." Like,
Yeah,
um there's a lot more to it than just trying to quickly fix the symptom, even though we want to be out of pain or discomfort or we want to sleep. Like, I remember just, like, not sleeping and being like, "I will do anything to get to sleep." Like,
yeah,
like, find me on the freaking street corner trying to find myself some freaking drugs because, like, I mean, like, really, like, it's such a when you can't sleep, when you're exhausted, or when you can't digest your food, or you can't, like or you're the brain fog. Oh, the brain like, all these things, it is you want to snap your fingers and make it go away, but we have to start, like, slowing down, like I say, observing, right?
yeah,
So
and it doesn't mean that, like, your symptoms are fun. Like, we're not saying any of
not
this fun. Like,
no, it's
all of
real.
this is intense craziness, but no one's out and I'm not even out saying like, "Yay, insomnia." I'm like, "I love this for me." No, no, we don't love that for anybody. But when we stop viewing the body as something that's just like malfunctioning for no reason because and we stop ignoring because that's what I did for so long. Because you're gonna keep getting those symptoms if you keep ignoring.
Yeah. So you want to just start asking yourself, like, just start asking yourself questions around the symptoms. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, this is key of being like an observer of your life.
Mhm.
So, okay, I didn't sleep last night. And without obsession, without like spiraling with these questions, just like, okay, I didn't sleep last night. Oh, my GERD is starting to act up, or oh, like I feel so bloated. Like just just start
And reframing it, like,
Reframing it too. Yeah.
what does my body need more of for, like, what is it asking for?
yes. So, a next lesson that we learned that women are chronically underestimating the impact of just their overall stress.
Okay.
So, let's talk about stress for a second. Can we do that?
Mhm.
Because that has to be one of the top reoccurring themes for this whole year. Obviously, you hear it
Oh,
throughout
yeah.
this whole episode. It's
Yes.
the stressors of our lives as women. It's the micro traumas that plague us for years. Because I say about my big trauma, but I think it's equivalent to if somebody's been living in this state for 20 years. I feel like if you've been chronically stressed for 20 plus years, it's this that is a lot of hardship on your body.
100%, and not just stress in the obvious sense, and I think that's where too we talk to so
Yeah,
many women and they're like, "I'm not stressed." But
right.
it's not just, like, deadlines or lack of sleep or, like, a busy schedule. I mean, we mean, like, internal stress too, like, the things that we can't stop talking about, like the perfectionism, that constant pressure that we place on ourselves, and even, like, that other voice in your head, which is, like, the ego. I call it the evil stepmother in my head, that we're never good enough.
Mhm.
We're like almost she's telling you, "No, you can't have fun. No, you can't do this or that." Like, she's controlling your life, and all of that is creating so much internal pressure and even that inability to rest or slow down. Like, that evil stepmother's like, "What are you doing sitting on the couch, girl? You got a long list of things to do." Like, then you start to feel guilty and, like, it's just, like, fear of disappointing people. It's like there's a lot of internal pressures, and I think with these women like ourselves and I think our listeners where we're high functioning, like we have a lot of these traits that are creating so much stress.
Yeah, it's the emotional labor, it's the mental load. It it's the never fully exhaling, and, like, also, what happens if you fail? Like, what happens if you don't get your kid to school on time? That just happened to me. What happens if you forget some like, they have to get the signature? What happens if you don't show up for a friend the way you wish you would've? Like, there's a lot like, what happens if you're just good enough?
Yeah.
I mean, the being perfect and being perfect to everyone and everything, what happens is you just totally abandon yourself in
Yeah,
that
and
process.
I think that we've been living this way for so long where we just like normalize it
Yeah.
and then that's our baseline. So then we're like, I'm not stressed. Like that's normal.
Yeah, I just give to everybody and then I have nothing else for myself.
Yeah.
And sometimes women don't even identify themselves like you said, they don't,
Yeah.
like, identify themselves as this, like, stress state because they're so used to it. Also, like, I don't know how many times I have to talk about it this episode, but the micro load of being a woman is, like, it really is something else, and I think because we just operate, it's, like, so habitual that we wouldn't identify it as stress. Like, we wouldn't identify like, I don't know what the question was. I just saw something on social media, or maybe even, like, a friend and I were talking, I forget, but it was like, if you had to ask your husband or your partner to go pick up, like, underwear for your kid, would they know what to pick up? And I know that sounds so stupid, but it's like I don't, most people, husbands, I'm sorry, would know how to do that because their wives have always done that. Or like, I just see things in my own family where like even my siblings, like my brothers are amazing husbands, but the wives still it's 50-50 in my with my siblings, but my I still see my sister-in-laws having to do more in a way because the kids come to them. This emails only go to the women, which is
Oh,
crazy. Like
yeah.
the scheduling between families only goes to the woman.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah, and, like, so much so, like, my sister-in-laws, I think they both at times have had to fight for getting their husband on the email list, getting their
Oh
husband on the
my gosh.
text thread, and it's so bizarre to me, like, I mean, obviously, I'm a single parent household, so I don't have this experience, but I witnessed this with my friends and my family, and I'm like, those little micro traumas, if you're just operating at always being the one with the
Yeah.
schedule or always the one taking care of, like, financial stuff, or always being the one that takes care of cleaning the home, or, like, making sure the fridge is stocked, like, those are all stressors.
It's a lot floating around this
There's
mind
too
of
much.
ours.
Obviously, can you hear me? This is my internal thoughts, like and now I'm as a single parent, I have all of the stressors all the time, but this is my
Yeah.
life, and I don't have to be mad at, my husband, but I look at other people and I'm like, "Oh my god, you do all of the things. It's too much."
It's too much. Okay, we're gonna switch to
Oh,
something
sorry.
more
Did
more
I just
fun.
get on a real anger Thank
Lesson
you.
5, guys.
Lesson 5.
Fun,
Thank you for stopping me.
joy, fun, joy, and connection are not extras. Like this is one we have definitely talked a lot about because fun, joy, and connection should be honestly like what we prioritize, and then the rest of our life goes around that.
Yeah,
Like
why we don't? Why don't
fun
we
should
do
come first.
first? Ugh, fun should come
Yes,
first. And
absolutely.
yeah, it should be the main part of the meal, not just the little side dish.
Yes. Yes.
Okay? It should be the meat of your
That's right. Not the potatoes.
not the potatoes.
Yeah, exactly. So many women have been conditioned to treat joy like it's optional or like you said, Melissa, where um you earn it, which I think because we are conditioned to that and like even our parents before, like our grandparents and probably their grandparents, like you
Oh, yeah.
don't have fun until you get your work done or
Yep.
until you clean your room or until you eat all your food on your plate or like whatever it might be. Like
Yeah.
fun is a nice to have or like a
Extra.
possi yeah, like a possibility. Like maybe you will today, but maybe you won't, most likely. So for us, when we carry that into adulthood, we've talked about this before too, where it's like the work is never done. You know, we're business ladies. We're doing all the things. You got families, you got to clean the house, you got to cook. So the work is never done. So then in our mind, well, then I can never have fun because I can only have fun when the work is done, which
Ugh.
is so
It's so
horrible.
irritating. I know. And I was raised like my dad is an entrepreneur. My parents are hustlers, but then they were raised by blue collar people. And like Midwest blue collar people is like you work until you're almost dead and then you retire and then you have your first heart attack. Like that is just
Yeah.
there
So sad.
and then like the plant it's so interesting of like but like you I mean some it's so sad, but it's also like sometimes we have to like they had to make a living, they had to feed their children, and then like with my grandparents the plan was, oh, we'll travel when we're retired, and it's like they
Mhm.
couldn't.
Mhm.
And so how can you find fun even when you are hustling because you
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
um because the lists never end, the work never ends, and it the problem is that day of like giving yourself the fun never really comes if you only operate from that viewpoint.
Yeah, and how you can even, like, hear, like, how we're talking, how that impacts the nervous system where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, like, it's in that low grade fight or flight, and there is research, there is and it was fun, like, looking into that, like, how lightness and play and fun and joy and pleasure and even awe Like when you look at something so beautiful and you're like, "Oh my God, like that's
Mm.
amazing." Like being in that present moment, being mindful of like the beauty around you, how that shifts your nervous system into the parasympathetic so that you actually can heal, so that you can decrease your inflammation, you can repair your hormones, you can regulate your whole system by doing these things. So it's like it's not now a nice to have or a after the work's done. This is something that needs to be prioritized.
I know, like, the studies are crazy on, like, if the people that go to, like, art museums or, like, art galleries or, like, when they just, like, doing things like that, where they're learning and, like, that awe. I love what you said. I love that. Just those moments, those people live longer.
Yes,
So
yes.
interesting. Okay, so let's talk about what we've, like, this podcast has taught us because I've
Yes.
learned so much about who I am by doing this day in and day out with you. 52 episodes.
Oh my
Um,
god.
so what do you feel like you've been taught?
Oh my gosh. For me, I think this podcast has reinforced how important it is to use our voice. And like I had mentioned too, I felt like I had a mess. I've always been the introvert. I've always been the shy one. Like I would hide. I mean, I in high school, I ate my lunch sitting on a bathroom stall in high school because I was
What?
shy. Yes.
How come
And
I'm just learning
I
about this?
know, like,
Have you ever told me this?
I thought about it recently and I was like, "Oh my god, I didn't feel safe. I didn't
Oh
feel
my god,
safe to be
Jen.
around other people. I was hiding all the time."
Yeah.
So for me, it's like there was that voice inside of me, my soul that was like, "You need to be heard." Like, but I was so terrified, and so for me, it's like finding my voice and being able to I mean, I feel like this is a safe space because I feel like it's just me and you, but I know, like, the whole world can hear us, which is fun because I
Mhm.
love connecting with other people, but it does feel like a very safe space. I still have this fear around, like, public speaking or, like, presenting because I think I felt so much unsafety to be seen, even, like, the fear of being seen. Like, there's a lot of this that guys, I'm working through this with you now,
Yeah.
like, and I'm learning about myself and learning about, like, past traumas I've had that have made me the way I am, and it's all so fascinating.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. That I'm just still and I just
I know
didn't know.
it's so sad. I
I
don't
know.
share it
No,
with
I
people
don't.
because it's really pitiful,
I
but,
no, I don't
yeah.
find it sad. I mean, I don't it's not that I don't I am just learning that about you, and I feel like I knew a lot about you, but
Yeah.
I am sad for that little girl, like, that
Me
little girl
too.
that had to do that, but that time in our life, there's so much self-abandonment because we
Yeah.
weren't given the resources to find our voice. That's why I, like, love the little girls now. Man, oh man, are they
Yeah.
spicy, and I
I
fucking love
know.
it. Oh, they
God, I
just
wanna be
give it.
spicy.
Oh, the little girls in my life freaking just lay it out.
Love
Like,
it.
they're like, "Don't touch me. I don't want that. That's gross." And I'm like, "Freaking stop." Like, I have mom friends that are like, "Yeah, but she's kind of a bitch," and I'm like, or she's being a dick." I'm like, "Let her be a dick because somebody's gonna tell her it's almost like you need to let them be like that for so long, and the world will beat them down enough, like, the parents
Yes.
don't have to tell them to be a dick." And what I'm finding with Levi, which is interesting as a boy, is that he is so apologetic, so submissive, so passive, and I'm like, "Okay, so then when does his" I don't know if, like, all boys are like that. I mean, the boys that I've known are more like that. They're less spicy than the girls, and it's just interesting, like, that shift. So, I guess I say that
Yeah.
because I thought about, like, the little girl in you that was like, "I'm not safe enough to eat with with friends," or I don't even deserve friends," like,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was, like, what I imagined or imagined, and sad I'm sad for you, but I also, like, love that you reflect on it and you're feeling so open that you can, like, share it with people. So,
Yeah.
good for
Thank
you
you.
because that's tough.
Yeah.
Um, I guess should I what did I this podcast taught me one that it's truly taught me that I don't have to be perfect.
Mm. Yes.
Because when we first started this, I'm like, oh my God, I need to have all the answers. I'm like, Jen to me feels so, Janet, you're like the smartest person I know.
Oh my god.
You are clinically so intelligent.
Aw.
And sometimes I feel like I struggle with recall of things, but like I'm more of like the feely, touchy-feely kind of person. Like I'm settling into like who I am as a person and my strengths and
Yeah.
not even looking at the things that like we're a great balance for each other, I think. So
Yeah.
I'm learning that this podcast I don't have to be perfect. I just have to show up as myself and that's good enough.
That is.
Mhm.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. And I think receiving, like, even, like, that
Yeah.
compliment, like, it is hard for me, but, like, I appreciate that. Like, I need to receive that and, like, appreciate you for saying that to me. Thank you. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
Anytime. I'll tell you whatever you want. I
Keep
think
them
you
coming, keep them
I
coming.
think you're the greatest.
I'm opening my receiving abilities over here. Oh my god. Okay, anyways, so, I mean, I guess let's just I mean, we wanna
Let's say thank
thank
you.
thank you guys. Like, it's just been amazing. It's been an
It's been
amazing year.
it's been an amazing year, and we wanna thank everyone who's been with us from the beginning, or if you're just joining, this is, like, your first episode, you're
Yes.
welcome. But no, just thank you for sticking with us and sharing and liking our stories and our
Yeah.
what we share on social media and following our podcast and sharing it with like I have people that message me and they're like, we've listened to you from day one." I mean,
Oh,
like how amazing is that? Or
I
like, I
know.
listened to you on the commute to work or whatever.
And
Or
people all over the world is like
I
I'm like,
know
"What? This is so cool."
it's so cool. And then like I think the biggest thing that I hear is that like you and I have such good banter
Yeah.
and like we just go and
It's
this
because 'cause
is
we're
just
besties.
it's because 'cause we're besties, and we've been doing this for years, this
Yeah.
banter is the thing, and we have, like, lost that like, well, it's not like that we've lost friends, but, like, I remember and maybe I've even told this story about,
Oh
like,
my god.
when Jen and I get flowing with conversation, you can either hang with it or you can't, and if you can't, like, we just I don't know, because
Well,
our
I think we used to be more sarcastic, so in school, somebody said
oh.
that our sarcasm could be construed as bitchiness, but I think we're a little less sarcastic
No, I
now.
don't think we're so much deeper. We're so much deeper than we have much more meaningful, deeper conversations now.
Yes.
I don't know what we talked about. We just talked about health and, fun times and the beach and stuff before.
It was a lot of those, yeah.
It's a lot of because we didn't even know better, but yeah, so thank you to our listeners. If this podcast had helped you feel seen, helped you
Yeah.
understand your body better, helped you better ask better questions. I mean, that's a big one. Just asking better questions to your practitioners or like the people around you. Maybe help softened your self judgment. Being kinder to yourself or helped you
Yeah.
take one step just forward in this healing process. That is what we're meant to do. Like I remember when we first started, I said if we only have one listener and that one
Yep.
listener's life is changed, that
Yeah.
is enough for me. Like, I'm
Yeah.
good. If we just like that trajectory of that person that sends them on a path, and maybe it's just like one sentence we said,
Mhm.
and then next, and then maybe they never listen again. They
Yeah.
only listen to one episode, and then like their next decision is based on what they learn from us. Like, I am cool with that. I remember, don't you
Yeah.
remember like us talking about that? I was like, that's fine.
Yeah.
So if
And
we,
we don't have to like, I used to feel like I had to be somebody for everyone, and we don't. We just have to
yeah.
be the right person for the right person, like,
Well, I know. Because we talked about, like, the poor sweet men that just, like, we don't talk about
we
and
don't
or we
talk about the men.
I mean, it's not like we shit on them, but we just don't wanna talk about them. And,
We
um
just feel so passionate about you ladies
yeah,
and what we're going through, and I think because we can connect so deeply with you, like,
yeah,
it's easy for us, and that's what we want. We want ease and fun and joy, so that's what we're doing, and
yeah.
we won't feel guilty for not including the men.
No, I'm not gonna feel guilty. I don't feel guilty. I feel nothing.
Oh
Okay,
my
so
god.
so let's talk about year
What's
2.
happening this
Year 2.
new year?
I know.
Okay,
Uh,
so we have some big things happening.
we
Number
do.
1, Melissa, you are here in Florida.
I'm moving to Florida end of May. I am joining Jen's practice, Health and Motion, as an associate doctor, we are going to build some wonderful, beautiful
Building.
programs with functional medicine, with all of these things that we're talking about, somatic healing, just overall, just better living. And
Yes.
I'm so excited to not be in the winter in Michigan too.
Yes.
So
Florida is
it
amazing,
is
except
amazing.
for in July and August, it's very hot, but,
It's fine. That you have God invented air
you're
conditioning.
gonna have a pool too, so
Am.
in your community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, what else? What else are we gonna do? You're
So, another thing I'm super excited for this year is our group program that we're, hoping to launch in August, and it's gonna be a container. It's so fun because there's a lot of community in this platform that we chose where you're able to connect with other women going through similar things. And we're going to be teaching you a lot of what I consider is baseline healing. Like, how can you at least start where we're not going to be like your doctor? We are doctors, but we're not going to be like your doctor, but we're going to be teaching you all the things that we know so that we're able to help people all over the world. There's so many like, laws and rules with like licenses and stuff. So we are practicing in a different way where we're going to be more of like a coach in this health field, but it's going to be you're going to learn a lot of stuff, a lot of great information that you're
Yep.
probably not getting from your doctor that will extremely accelerate your healing in the areas of the nervous system. And then we're going to branch out into like deeper areas of healing, but this is a very affordable container for everyone to kind of feel supported, feel loved, have some deep healing, and we're gonna have special guests that come, and it's just like, I'm so excited for this because this is
Yeah.
where I feel there's such a need, and Melissa and I are creating something that, like, needs to happen for you guys.
I know, and I love that it doesn't break the bank. Like you can make most people can make it work into their life, but it's like the core of why we're and where we're at is what we're teaching, and that process is so life changing. And I mean, it's hard because it's not going to be one-on-one, which we would love, but I feel like there's so much healing in this idea of
In
being
groups.
in a group because,
Yes.
I mean, as a person who's led facilitated grief groups or have been in other groups, or it's just like the energy is
Mhm.
healing, you feel revived because I
Yes.
think that's what's lacking so much in our culture now is this sense of community. And once we get all of these women together and on the same alignment, same path, it is just like there's healing in that. And then with
Yes.
what we have to offer and like teach people is there's healing in that as well. So
Yeah.
it's such I'm so excited.
It's gonna be such a beautiful space. I
Such
love
a
it.
beautiful space. So more to
Yeah.
come on that.
Absolutely. And we're going to keep bridging this gap between science and real life because we
Mhm.
are in it with you guys. And we want you guys to understand your body like clearly in a way that's like not I don't know, like I'm the authoritative figure. It's in a way of like, we're here, we're with you. You can clearly understand, like, oh, that makes sense. Like, I have this thought and this affects my body this way. So, we're going to like be digging a little bit deeper into the science and body and the mind body connection. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
exciting.
I think we're gonna keep having these conversations that are just, really honest, very practical with compassion, and maybe occasionally just like a little spicy because I can't stop from swearing sometimes. Sorry,
Spicy is
everybody.
healthy.
I've been told not to swear, but fuck it.
Oh my God. Well, it is unfiltered. So,
It is unfiltered,
life
but
happens.
it's doctor approved. So, very, very
I love
anyway,
it.
so let's wrap up today. If there's one thing
Yes.
we hope you take away from this episode, it's that healing is deeper than symptoms, deeper than willpower, and deeper than doing everything perfect.
Yes.
It's just so much more to it than those things.
Yeah, and your health is connected to your physiology, your stress, your nervous system, like we love to talk about, your
Yeah.
relationships, your emotions, your story, and the way you live every single day.
Yeah, and
So,
yeah.
yeah.
And hopefully you can meet yourself with more compassion in this process for sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you guys for being with us for this first year of Gut Feelings
Yay!
Life Unfiltered. We are so grateful you're here and we're so excited for what's ahead.
I know. And if you love this episode, please, please, please share it with a friend. Post it to your stories, tag us, let us know what your favorite episode this year was, because that also gives us some guidance on what you want to hear.
Yeah. And
You
we do
know?
have a Facebook group, so we will be better about that next year or this year to come. But you guys can post us questions there, what you want us to talk about, because we love your feedback so we can kind of curate it around what everyone's interest is.
Or just DM us
Yeah,
too. You can message
absolutely.
us. We'll answer. So, okay. We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye, guys. Have a good
Bye.
one. Bye.